we are trying to show you how we would be doing system analysis, and basically it's not how we would be doing system analysis, rather we should be saying like few aspect of system analysis that can be done, and that is basically our key intention. So we want to show you how we can perform system analysis. So in the very basic knowledge of system analysis should be discussed here. So the very first lecture is rich picture. A rich picture is a mechanism that help us to see the detail of the system as a whole. That means in one particular slide, I will be able to see the whole system, all possible stakeholders, and their possible activities should be mentioned in the rich picture. Sometimes people mention this is basically ill-defined problems by drawing detailed presentation of them. So sometimes rich pictures are also known as ill-defined problems. Okay, so it's not exact, it's not accurate, but a very effective mechanism to demonstrate what is going on in a particular system. So a rich picture is a way to explore, acknowledge, define a situation and express it through diagram to create preliminary model. And rich picture helps to open discussion, to come aboard. Which we will see very shortly. And rich picture covers, it identifies the issue you want to address and develop an unstructured description of the situation. So this is basically the main thing that we have in our rich picture. So rich picture contains this following issue. It should have some structure, processes, climate, people, issues, that means expressed by the people, and conflict. So these can be depicted in a particular rich picture. We can see the structure, the process, climate. So this can be depicted by a rich picture. So this is an example how we can come up with a rich picture. As you can see, in rich picture there is nothing called start, there is nothing called end. So it is basically a continuous process. You can start from any point and can basically go back to other part. So in typical rich picture, there are many ways people draw the rich picture. In typical rich picture, we have some cartoon figures which is sometimes known as clippers in Microsoft environment. So we can use those images. Images are typically the actions carried by the author. It could be events, it could be person, it could be organization, it could be the output, it could be the input, it could be the devices, it could be anything. So with the picture, whatever you can describe through the picture could be there, and there has to be flow. That means from one image to another, there has to be a flow, and the flow should be labeled. What is going on? For an example, student is taking course. So if I have a picture of a student, I have an image for course, then basically the link between these two should be student should be registering for course or taking the course, something like that. So this kind of flow could be unidirectional or it could be both directional, but we don't use bidirectional arrows, we use unidirectional arrows. By bidirectional I means like the arrow should be in two part, the arrow should be there, but in our case we provide the arrow in a single side, so we don't use bidirectional. If you need to do bidirectional, what we do, we need to have two separate arrows to show the bidirectional flow, and the what sort of messages are going from one to another, that should be done in that regard. So it would be the stakeholder should be there, the message flow should be there, and if it is both way communication is there, then basically we will be having two arrows instead of having bidirectional arrows. Is it clear so far?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
As you can see in the example, we have only unidirectional arrow, we don't have any bidirectional arrow. Each and every images should be labeled what it is, because for an example, you are putting an image of a human being, it is a human being to me, but to the system it could be user, to the system it could be CEO, to the system it could be sales department. So you need to demonstrate, or you need to label the particular use of the logo or use of the image. That is also very important. So three things I already have mentioned. There has to be stakeholders, there could be, that means stakeholders, processes, anything, whatever that devices, input, output should be represented by an logo or an image. The image should be labeled properly, and there should be message flow within the within those stakeholders or devices, and this label should be unidirectional, that cannot be bidirectional. So is it okay so far?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good.
Yes.
Now let's go to the next example. Sometimes people can prepare rich picture by drawing it. So draft drawing can be used for drawing the rich picture. Something like this can occur. So those who are good at drawing, you can try, but we prefer you to use the clippers downloaded from net, and basically link it using Microsoft Word. You can do that using Microsoft Office. So we prefer you to do it using Microsoft Word, or you can use Microsoft Visio. There is another software which is basically used for drawing purpose. You can use Microsoft Visio for the drawing purpose. So but for the time being, this rich picture can be drawn by Microsoft Word. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is basically hand drawing can be there, but we don't accept hand drawing. Then this one is another way of doing it, but we don't expect you to do in this way. So we have the, as you can see, we have the, what we have here. What can anyone find out the issues why we don't want you to follow this one?
Sir, this is bidirectional arrows.
Yeah. Bidirectional arrow.
Very good, bi-direction. Anything else?
It is really confused.
Each and every arrow should be labeled. I mentioned, right?
Yes, sir.
Each and every arrow should be labeled. Now, for an example, an athletic is basically, there is an arrow from athletic to start list. What does that mean? I don't know. So I don't know what is going on in the process. So that is one of the problems that we couldn't figure out from this particular rich picture. However, this rich picture is not wrong. Why not wrong? Because you see, for speaker, on the right side, you have we have a role called speaker, and you can see there are 6 activities of speaker. So get start list, get athletic info, get club info, get results, announce start, and announce result. So we know what are the activities of speakers, but how those activities are connected with which arrow, those are not clear. But we can see for some of the users, the role or the activities are listed, which is typically we should be provided by arrow. But here we can see the arrow is not there, or arrow is not labeled properly, but the activities are given after the name of the stakeholders. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then let's go to the next image. So this is basically another image, as we have mentioned, that rich picture should be structure. It should represent some structure. As you can see here, we have different sub modules or subsystems. Here we have inventory management, we have payroll management, we have sales management. This kind of software is there. So there are different types of softwares are there, and we have supply chain management, and we have customer relationship management on both on 2 different sides. And this is basically connected with internet. So a whole software is given to us, whole software infrastructure is given to us with some some module, with distributed into some modules. But the problem here is, this is a architecture of the system could be seen from here. are missing here. We can found the arrows are given in between the module to module, how modules are communicating. But what is the purpose of the active roles or stakeholders within the modules are not explained here. So that is the limitations here. Is it okay? So this type of rich picture can be used for which purpose? For architectural purpose. Very good. This can be used for the architectural purpose. So here the detail is there because like we have the sub modules, the modules, and those modules, what are the components in the modules are also there. So that's the reason why we could say this is better for architecture, but not for the rich picture for a particular system. System drawing should not be done in this way. Let's go to the next example. So this is another example, very simple way of explaining the system. So this kind of system sometimes is known as contextual diagram or context level diagram. So this is sometimes known as context level diagram. So rich picture that consists of the whole activities in a particular system and it connects with all stakeholders. It doesn't explain what is going on. So for example, this hospital management system, we know in hospital management, patients would be coming, doctor would be giving service, staff would be providing different services, the accounts would be maintained, pharmacy would work, equipments would be used to diagnose the patients, doctor would be using those equipments. But what is going on, I don't have any idea. On the context level, I could simply say this is a hospital management system and I have the list of the actors who are involved in the system. So this is basically a very high level diagram. It talks about only the stakeholders and as a whole, the whole system. So that's basically another way of doing rich picture, but we also don't prefer this one. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Very good. So then basically you can see this is basically a very high level diagram. This is for network. This is for architectural level drawing. This is basically detail is there, but not that much because the processes are not explained properly. The arrows are not labeled. There is bidirectional flows are there. This is basically hand drawing. We don't accept that. And this is the one that we try to do. This is basically how we want to do our rich pictures. So that's basically this is basically another example of rich picture. As we have mentioned, this kind of rich picture can also be utilized, but here as you can see some limitations are there. As you see that packs in between, there's a relationship in between packs and modality, packs and modality at the middle one and the end one. So here we have bidirectional flow, right? At the same time, packs with review station, we have bidirectional flow. With report generation, with report creation, we have bidirectional flow. So these are some problems that we have with this one. But other than that, almost most of the part is explained. But as you can see, printer server is basically printing the hard copy of X-ray. The message flow is not labeled. The flow is not labeled. So this kind of flaw is there. Otherwise, this is also to some extent correct. These sequence flows are divided into two parts. One is dotted line, another is solid line. So there are many places where you can see this kind of differentiation, but in our case, we don't want to go in details of those things. We want to keep it very simple with the solid line, rich picture for our description. Is it okay? But this is a good one. This is a good one, no doubt about it. This is a very good one. Is it okay? Any doubt, any confusion?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
No, I believe.
No, sir.
Very good.
No, sir.
Yes, Asya.
In this picture, HIS and RIS, what do you mean by that?
Sorry, HIS and RIS.
Yes, sir.
So these are different type of abbreviation that has been used, which would be, this is again a problem. This is again a problem. hospital or healthcare integration system could be there. I don't know exactly. So these are some problems. That means if you use abbreviation, then you have to use the detail of the abbreviation summed in the document. Otherwise, it would be misleaded by the user. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So this is another way. This is basically RFID library management system. RFID based library management system. The flow is there, and this is basically how they are defining the flow. So this kind of, if the system is very simple, very small, then you can show the system in this way as well. So this is basically another way of representing the system using rich picture. So now let's come up with the guideline of the rich picture. The first guideline: using a large sheet of paper and symbols, represent the words and draw a rich picture, basically, or the mind map, and basically of the situation of the project or the group that you wish to evaluate. So first of all, you need to have a in a group, you need to work with a large sheet, and then basically the symbol should be chosen correctly, the symbol should be labeled properly, and then using those label, you have to initiate your work with the rich picture. So start by asking people to note all physical entities involved. For example, the critical peoples used in the organization, who would be there, who would be using the system, or who would be interacting the system. So the first thing you need to identify, who are there, who are involved in the system. That is the first question. Ask people to present their rich picture by describing the key elements, by linkage between them. So then basically, once you are drawing the rich picture, you need to get involved with the client. So get involved with the client, use the rich picture that you have prepared, and get their feedback, how the rich picture is, whether the rich picture is correct or not. If there is more than one group, compare their pictures and the clusters, the ideas that are similar and those are diverse. And in this way, you can identify most important issues, discuss such as the critical points. So if there are multiple groups, and these multiple groups are basically working towards a particular system, then at the end, they need to communicate with each other. They need to find out the lacking of one other group, so that other group can improvise or basically improve the existing system that they have prepared. So because like it is quite natural, everyone is not getting to everything. So some people are expert in some particular aspect. So for example, a person who is a business person, he could understand the business well. A IT person can understand the IT well. So IT person, when he would be doing the rich picture, he will try to focus on the IT related aspect, and IT related aspect will be very clear. For example, how BICA should be done, how money would be sent through, architecture, what kind of architecture should be used. This kind of detail can be expected from the IT guy. On the other hand, from the business guy, you will get the business detail. That's the reason when 2 or 3 multiple groups are working together, you have to communicate with each other so that you can get the system in a better shape, or give the system a better shape. So now let's get back to the group. So I believe you are working in a group, right? You already,
Yes, sir.
We already have the groups. Yes. The groups are already ready. Now what we want you to do, we want you to find out, or we want you to create the rich picture for this dash system. Okay, this is your assignment, right? Remember, this is your project. So we are working with your project in the class so that you can come up with something and can upload those something in the class. So so can you see this?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So what we want you to go through the problem one. I believe with the lecture that you have the detail of the problem, right?
Yes, sir.
So if you have detailed problem, then basically your task could be group wise asking me some question, and from me getting the idea what you need to know. You can ask me, I'm your client here, so you can ask me whatever you want, and basically from there we will continue. So this is me saying nothing now. It would be your job to get the things out of me. You need to know anything else? No question. You don't have any you don't have any questions.
Sir, we do
Sir,
have-
I need to know about the organization that I have to work about.
The name of the organization is SHEDA. You are working for SHEDA.
Sir, what about the background of this organization? What does it do? Like the data that they have and they need us to make for them reports. What kind of data?
What kind of data they use, right? So
Yes, sir.
they use different types of energy related data.
Okay, sir.
They use energy related data, and those energy related data are basically okay. Let me do one thing. Since our lecture is already in, our lecture is closed, so let me stop the recording